Rare just made a pretty dramatic announcement that I think is worth talking about. First, Rare just announced that they are adding new tools and weapons to the game with the expectation of changing the meta. Not only will pirates have 2 new weapons to choose from, like the double-barreled pistol and throwing knives, but we are also getting 2 new tools to use in naval combat. I'm not sure I'm sold on how useful the scatter shot is going to be, because it seems like it's just going to be Blender sniping another ship, but I am super excited about the bone collar. I love that Rare has taken feedback from the community about skeletons being docile to players with the skeleton curse, and they found a way to incorporate friendly skeletons into the game. And with the game opening up to PlayStation, I think this is a great time to shake up the meta. A lot of us have been playing this game for years, and we have a huge advantage over the expected horde of PlayStation players. So this decision to add new weapons and tools is really well timed. Maybe I'll change my mind when these are added to the game, but I don't really see myself using the new weapons because I like my current loadout. I also really like the idea of using my enemies' missed shots to my advantage, even if being able to hold their knife as a third weapon is only temporary. When the Harpoon Grapple Gun was revealed, my gut reaction was a massive eye roll, because board-heavy crews are going to be almost guaranteed easier boards now, which makes naval combat a lot more difficult for solo sloopers or even smaller crews in general. But then I realized that I'm pretty hesitant to board because I worry about missing it and putting my crew at a disadvantage. So maybe this doesn't have to be such a bad thing. It is really difficult to sink boats without getting on board these days, and rather than seeing this as a negative, I think it can be really useful for people like me who want to feel more confident about going for the board. The thing that really sold me on this thing though was seeing that the harpoon can grab treasure. I think that the more time you have in the game, the more daunting it feels to walk so slowly while holding treasure. I know they said that you can also harpoon people, but I'm curious to see how that plays out. Will it be like in Halo where you can grapple yourself to another player, or will it work more like the harpoons that we already have and bring the other player to you? Also, if you miss a harpoon on a piece of treasure, will you automatically be pulled to that spot where your harpoon hit, or will you have to pull the trigger to be pulled forward? It seems like they put a lot of thought into the versatility of a grapple gun, so I'm really curious to see how it actually gets integrated into the game when it eventually gets added. And not only that, but I cannot wait to be able to grapple to the top of an island, which leads me to my next point. Rare has hinted at ziplines in the past, so this isn't really news anymore, but it's still something to be excited about. And I'm surprised by how many different features they mentioned that can help with making it easier to move around the world. I'm not sure how practical it will be to walk across a harpoon line during battle, but I can see this feature being useful to create shortcuts to islands. I was thinking that ziplines are going to be a great feature, and walking on the harpoon line is cool too, but it would be even cooler if we could use the harpoon line to zipline back to the ship. So seeing that we can slide down the harpoon line feels like they read my mind on this and made it possible in a way that makes sense. Honestly, I'm glad that they didn't even just leave the idea of movement strictly to islands. I'm curious to see how much the wind collar can add to a ship's speed, except Briggs, because I don't think they really need extra speed. And when is that going to be addressed? Anyway, if it's anything like the Siren Skull, I'm not expecting much of a change in speed from what we already know, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to make sure that I have one of these on board if I have the opportunity, just in case I need it to be able to catch up to a ship that's trying to make a run for it. As the announcement continued into the ideas about the season of Mischief, I started to feel like Sea of Thieves is changing so much that it's almost like we're getting a new game, as long as their team dedicated to the health of it can actually keep up. Out of everything that they mentioned for the Mischief, I am not a fan of the dart gun that causes phantom audio cues. We already have audio cue bugs in the game, and a lot of experienced players rely on those cues to know how to react. So this seems more punishing and annoying than it does mischievous to me, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, I hope that they can deliver on giving us the option to crouch and to use fake chests to sneak around around or to even set traps like they mentioned. But honestly, this whole idea of Season 14 sounds extremely ambitious. If they can pull this off, it can be absolutely game-changing. Adding these goofy tools has the potential to breathe more fun and life into the game, and may keep people more interested in trying new ways to steal treasure from other players. I know a lot of people have been anticipating the return of FLAMEHEART for quite a while. I'm not one who has ever really put too much weight into the lore of the game. I kind of just take it for what it is, so it hasn't really ever changed my full experience of the game. So my initial reaction was, hey, I'm happy for everyone else that FLAMEHEART is finally making a reappearance. But when they said that we can get on the ship and pledge our allegiance and become the world event, my mind was absolutely blown. I did not expect to be so excited about FLAMEHEART coming back, but I don't think I am more hyped about anything else nearly as much as I am hyped about this. Becoming a part of the crew with built-in build rats sounds amazing, and who doesn't love a flamethrower? I do have a few questions about what happens to your ship when you join FLAMEHEART's ship, and also like how much can you interact with the ship? Like, can you steer it, or is it like when you get on board an enemy skeleton ship and they're still in control? And when enemies get on board, are they able to anchor it? Will it be just on autopilot? Also, is it marked on the map, or will there be a beam in the sky for people to see the location? And will there be an indicator that the crew has already taken control over it? I'm honestly just so hyped about this that I don't even care about whatever the possible risks or downsides are. I just want to have the chance to experience this event as soon as possible. And even if it means that I have to see my ship scuttle with 800 cannonballs, I'll do it. I've honestly never been more excited about any announcement that Sea of Thieves has ever come out with. It's inevitable that with any changes there will be pros and cons, and there's a lot that we don't know about some of these features and how they're going to work. So even if some of the features don't seem super appealing, there's still a lot of potential for new ways to play the game. And if they can deliver what they're promising, this is going to be a really excited year, and I am here for it. So what are your thoughts? Do you like the idea of audio mischief, or do you feel brave enough to walk across a harpoon mid-battle? What impact do you think these changes are going to have on how you play the game? Let me know in the comments, and feel free to like, share, or subscribe. I'm always accepting